Let's read a little bit out of my book, shall we? Chapter 7, Even with a Camera to Capture It All. The sound of Ivanka's chest as she inhaled a deep breath lowly crept into her ears. Seated now beside her husband and antsy as ever, she held her phone to her ear and murmured, "Mom, just make sure my son is all right. Don't let your sights off him for 1 second," she stated. "Ivy, do you think maybe Aaliyah just wandered off? How much longer until the officer arrives?" she warned. Ivy exhaled slowly, gulping as she weighed what her mother had just told her. "Yeah, Mom, I hear you. Watch Brenton and tell him I love him," she remarked. "Of course, and don't you fret over Brenton. Your daddy and I got him safe and secure over here. You worry about finding Aaliyah and relax on the rest," Margie said. "I love you, honey sunshine." "I love you too, Mom." Ivy ended the call quickly and stowed the phone in her purse, her eyes moving to the door just as Miss Duval opened it to reveal two men on the other side. One of the officers she recognized as officer who had worked on her own case in the past. Calvin. "Well, look who it is," Calvin murmured, his eyes raking over Aaron and Ivy as he stepped into the office. Behind him, a younger and unrecognizable officer with a badge lapel that said Gonzalez stepped in behind him. "Oh, do you know them already?" Miss Duval asked, her expression turning confused as she glanced between the officers and Ivanka. Aaron stood beside his wife with a steely expression, his hand reaching for hers as he nodded. "Yes, Calvin knows me, but that's beside the point," Aaron remarked, his tone laden with a cold and toxic sternness that hadn't fled since the moment he found out Aaliyah was missing. "All right, then, what's going on? The call came in that a little girl had gone missing. Was that your young'un, Ivy?" Calvin asked. "Who's your friend?" Aaron interrupted, glancing at the officer behind him. Calvin waved towards his partner with a shrug. "This here's Julio Gonzalez. He's my new deputy, and here to observe, of course," Calvin stated. Ivanka crossed her arms and exhaled softly. "We are wasting time chatting and getting to know one another when my daughter's missing here. Can we get to viewing the video feed now? I don't want to start cussing, but y'all are pressing it hard." Ivanka seethed, her sentiments beginning to align with her husband's at a rate that she herself wasn't sure of. Feeling like a ticking time bomb ready to go off, Ivy bit into her lower lip to hold back some choice words that were looking like they were damn well deserved. "Okay, so it is your daughter. She's right about viewing the tapes, though. Let's get a view on those, Ms. Duval, and then we can go from there. I'm going to need statements from all of you, and then I'm going to order some officers to canvass the perimeter. It's going to get dark fast, so I want to get some people out there before that happens," Calvin stated with a perk of the eyebrow and a matter-of-fact demeanor. "All right, I already got the monitors ready right here," Ms. Duval said, striding around the back side of her desk and sitting down as she reached for a screen. She slid it around so that the officers alongside Aaron and Ivanka could view and hit play. As their eyes ran over the screen, the normal processing of preschoolers walking out to various cars and their parents seemed to be going business as usual, until a dark-looking SUV came rolling through the car rider line. "Wait, what's that?" Ivanka asked, noting the vehicle and perking an eyebrow. "I've never seen that vehicle in the line before, and it appears really, well, as the kids say, out," she explained. "Just 'cause a new car appears in the line doesn't mean someone took Aaliyah, Miss Kilpatrick," Miss Duval stated. "We should continue watching the video before we jump to any conclusions. Remember, Mr. Kilpatrick showed up here with a new and unknown vehicle today, too." "Yes, but I called ahead of time to let y'all know that he would be picking up my child today. Someone should have ensured that my daughter was placed in the proper vehicle, but clearly that responsibility is something you've shirked. We'll be seeing your director down here to deal with this." Ivanka barked, her anger finally overtaking her senses as she stared back at Sethany Duval with a look that could damn near kill. "Now listen, Ivy. I know you're mad and you're right to be worried and upset, but let's not blame Ms. Duval for that. I am sure the director will come to talk to you. Ms. Duval, you've called her already, correct? If not, you should excuse yourself to do that and let us view the rest of the video. I think it best if Ivy and Aaron get a chance to discuss with me their findings without any interruption, and I'd hate to see you scapegoated for something when we're just now getting to the bottom of it," Calvin ordered. "But this is my office," Ms. Duval protested, quirking a brow in confusion. Yes, it is, and you have an obligation to get the director here so I can speak to her promptly. With 2 officers in here, you surely don't believe any trouble is going to come through, do you? From 2 concerned parents that happen to already know me and come from folks I've known all my life? Surely you got more confidence in your local law enforcement than that, Miss Duval. Calvin explained. I guess you're right. I never thought I'd see the day we would lose a toddler. I never thought I'd see the day, and I don't know what to say, but I'll call the director to come down right away. She stood up from her desk then and hit the play button on the monitor once more. The sound of her heels rapping against the tile floor seemed to suddenly echo as she stepped out the door, and with her departure, Ivy let out yet another loud and obnoxious exhalation. I don't know what you're expecting me to do here, Calvin. I was the one called to be told my daughter was missing, and Aaron and I aren't to blame for that. But she has to be. Who else watches these kids? Ivy, let's watch this video. You said that vehicle isn't familiar to you. I'm gonna hone in on it and see what happens. Wait, it's moving slowly toward the front. It looks like it's almost unsure what to do, Officer Gonzalez stated, bringing Ivy's attention directly to him the moment he spoke. You're right, it is. And you see that right there? She stood up and pointed toward the screen. That's my daughter with the Hello Kitty backpack. It seems like it's trying to get close to her. Look! Her eyes widened as she continued to peer at the screen, and then a black and looming figure suddenly emerged from the vehicle, making a beeline for the one child she knew it had been stalking. Aaliyah. Lifting her clean off the ground and clamping a hand down over her mouth before the creeping vehicle gulped them both and slithered out of the parking lot, literally in the blink of an eye. Ivy's gaze wandered over the screen to note that Ms. Duval's back was turned and engaged in speaking to a parent via the window of their car, just feet from where her daughter had been snatched up in broad daylight. Oh, that bitch! She's chatting away! Look at it! Aaron stated, leaping from his seat with a wave at the screen and a scowling expression. No wonder she doesn't want to get the fucking director down here. It's clear she's goddamn negligent, he roared. Officer Gonzalez stepped forward, putting his right hand up in the universal stop manner. Whoa now. Don't go out there trying to start something with this lady, Mr. Kilpatrick. I validate you have the right to be upset, but we got her getting that director down here. Sit down and let us get this sorted out. Yeah, we need to see if we can zoom in on the license plate and get an APB out. Gonzalez, call that in. We need some squad rooms up here because we have a kidnapped preschooler. Confirmed.